Hello and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Let's play episode 172. I think we're about ready to launch our rocket here. Let's go and head and retract this gantry. Did I change this correctly? What happened here? Saving. Okay, above. Gantry is retracted. And now let's go ahead and activate these. Let's cancel this order here. Okay. Missing gantry. I already have my guy in here though, right? Okay. If I go to star map, can I launch? Grounded. Launch rocket. Okay, and then we close it back up. And let's see how well this does. Because these temperatures are now super high. The more CO2 we get in the system, though, the better off this will be. Okay, let's test it out. How well does this work? We're suffering some overheat damage on this thermal regulator. We could seal this area off. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea. So the hydrogen has gotten really hot, and now all of these turn on and start cooling it down. Right? Yeah, maybe we just want to seal this area off. Or shield it a little bit better. These are really the delicate parts that we don't want exposed. So the hydrogen is very hot now. But I have all of these thermoregulators running. New printables available. Let's see how we do. Copper ore, sure. Down here, there's not been much of a change. Because we have all this thermal ballast. I guess this system just does not have that much thermal ballast. Not until we get more CO2 in here. We're gonna turn all these off for now. Yeah. No need to generate extra heat in these areas. I probably want to end up sealing this area off. This is just sort of an unnecessary thing that exists because of the way that we previously built our system. We kind of tried to make it work, but so this hydrogen temperature has gone up huge, but now all the hydrogen is being cooled down, so it comes in at 300 degrees and leaves at 160. Cycle 717. Yeah, we just want to seal this area off, I think. It's too delicate for us. Okay. Let's start by sealing off some of it, I guess. Alright, we can reduce the thermal communication between these systems. This is cooling down. Okay, cool. It's coming down fairly fast. It's coming down especially fast over here, where we have more exposure, obviously, to our cooling system. See, these are... this seems like fairly quick drops, right? Like, we're seeing this fall pretty fast. It was 370 just a few seconds ago. What's our coolant at? 271. Alright, so we're starting cycle 718. We started at 270. We're going to seal this area off a little bit. I think we're ready to seal it off completely. Let's go ahead and do that. Insulated tile, ceramic. Close this area off completely. I don't know if CO2 is necessarily the best stuff to have in here, but... I think this is fine. I think given that this is where the fresh coolant is coming in, even after our launch, this shouldn't heat up to a temperature that destroys these. All of these are running. I guess we need to go and find more coal before we get too crazy with this. Again, we just haven't transitioned to a better power source yet. Dig me out some coal. Cross like this. Where else is coal? There's coal here. I want to go and get that. Have I dug out all of my easy coal at this point? I might have. I'm getting there. Yeah, probably high time to transition to another power source. Or just expand my hatch ranches. Wouldn't be a bad idea. We're gonna increase our hatch numbers across here. Get a little bit more coal. And any little pockets we want to dig out. Get a ladder up here. Like so. I'm fine releasing the chlorine. Yeah, let's go ahead, dig out here. Any and all of this stuff. Looks good to me. Okay. Oh, and I guess I should also do something like this. They can't reach here, can they? Yeah, just deconstruct this for now. Ladder, igneous rock, like so. Okay. How are we doing temperature-wise over here? Our coolant has dropped. Suffocating. Harold, what are you doing? Run, Harold. Where are you guys going, even? Oh, see, they're trapped in some. They're trying to get this oxygen pocket over here. Just run up here. Yeah, they're fetching... They're having some weird thing happen here. That's fine. Okay. Oh, also coal right here. Let's grab that. There's a bunch of water here, so I don't really want to release this. Okay. This is all full. Okay, what is our coolant doing? It's down to 199, so we've dropped 70 degrees in about half a cycle. Not bad. All these are still operating. What is our exit temperature here? 66 now? Okay. Copy across here. Let these turn on. Yeah, I'd say do this if at like 100. Okay. So this is actually not that bad. This is looking pretty doable. What is this heating up to? This will need to cool off. It isn't that hard. Right, I can just loop like this. I can expand this cooling system here. I don't even know if it'll really require cooling because I have... the hydrogen will cool it off between launches. Right? Okay. What are we at now? 156, 55, 54, 53. Yeah, this cools off pretty quickly. We have a pretty powerful system here. Okay. So I think this system works. Right? This all seems like it will work just fine. We'll do another rocket launch. So the temperature down here is about 115 degrees right now. We have a lot of thermal mass in the system. Right, we have all these storage bins full of regolith. We can go ahead and cancel these sweep orders. We have all this temp shift plate. We've got some CO2 down here. Right, like this system also received exhaust from the rocket, but because there's all this thermal ballast here, it's fine. What we're relying on here is that the CO2 will provide the thermal ballast, which maybe isn't the best idea. Like, I could just come in and just add a bunch of temp shift plate. Maybe that isn't a bad idea. What if we did that? What if we just grabbed a bunch of temp shift plate, make it out of something, I don't even care what. Igneous rock, I guess? Sure, igneous rock. Just ran it down the sides like this. Let's give this a shot. Just to add some thermal ballast to the system. That way the carbon dioxide just gets mitigated a little bit. And what we're trying to do is trying to avoid the spikiness of it. We spiked up to 1200 or so. And that's just not good. So if we can avoid the spikiness, that might be better. Yeah, we'll just go and have them build a bunch of igneous rock stuff here. Interesting. I can't delete these because I deleted the other ones first. Sure. Yeah, just adding thermal ballast to the system. Okay. I'm actually pretty impressed. Like already we're having some of these turn off because they don't need to be on. Saying activate this if, yep, this is fine. Okay, cool. I like it. I think we're at a good point. And then when the rocket lands, we can just toggle this on, pump more oxygen in, and be good to go. Okay. So, I want to do one more launch, and I want to see kind of how much heat we end up getting in this system. This is what I would imagine our system is going to look like for heat transfer. We want to get this to like... We want to get this to a temperature for steam generation. Which means we're going to want it in a fairly specific band, right? Like we will have options. Like there will be a range at which we can get good use out of the temperature because we can open and close some of the ports underneath the turbine to kind of manipulate what is the ideal temperature. So depending upon temperature readings in this room or temperature readings of the steam, we can modify our steam turbine, how much steam it's running. But we do want to keep this at a reasonable temperature, I think. We can also because we have all this thermal mass in the system, and that allows us to, even with this very spiky sort of heat source, fine-tune exactly what temperature we want. We should be able to also boil petroleum, very likely, or boil crude oil into petroleum. So I want to see though, so we're at about 115 with all this thermal mass here. What would I get? What do I get off of one rocket launch is the question. Alright, so we have already brought down the CO2 in this room to about 65 degrees on average. Right? That's what it's looking like. 65, 70. And every launch should contribute to the amount of CO2 in the room, which will mean there's more thermal mass, which means it spikes less, right? Our hydrogen is at 65 degrees. Sure. You can probably go ahead and say something like negative 35, negative 36, negative 37, negative 38, negative 39, have a few more of these run. Yeah, and the crude oil temperature has not really increased that much at all. Like with all this cooling going on, our heat deletion mechanism seems like it's still working just fine. Yeah, so I think the system works fine. Okay. Yeah. The big question is there a reason to do this? Right? Yes, we can make an interior rocket silo work. Is there a point to it, though, is the question. We do capture the CO2, but again, I've kind of done the analysis. That isn't really that useful. Like all the CO2, when you work out what exactly it provides to your colony, it's not that much. It's got to be something with the heat that has to be useful. So yeah, I want to check to see. This is at, I guess, closer to 114 right now. What are these at? I'd say it's about 114 in this system. Carbon dioxide is now down to about 30 degrees. Yeah, by the time this rocket lands, this will all have cooled off. And we'll have a nice temperature here for dupes to come in and grab whatever has been dropped off. Okay. Okay. Looking good. I like it. Because this room, actually, over time, with enough launches, we can get it to a steady, whatever temperature we want between, you know, all the way up to 2200 degrees, frankly. Potentially, this room could be used, I mean, this would take a lot of launches, but this room could, how much heat am I getting? Is a good question. Potentially this room could be used to generate magma, right? We could melt down regolith into magma, and then solidify it back into igneous rock, cool off the igneous rock, crush it into sand, do stuff like that, right? Feed it to hatches, get more coal. A lot of options. You know what, let's go ahead and grab this coal over here. Daddy is hungry for coal. He's even willing to let this polluted water with germs in it out. More coal. I build a ladder right here. Can they get across? I don't know. I've not paid enough attention to how they can move across ladders. Okay. 1.4 cycles left on our rocket. I think we're going to cut the episode here. We can already see temperatures have been reined in. There's in fact a major cold spot over here. Why is it suddenly cold over here? Oh, because there's hydrogen? No. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why this is all much colder than... I guess it's because I have... Yeah, this stuff here. That makes sense. Okay, I'm going to cut things here. I want to do one more launch, just to see what sort of uptick in temperature we get per launch. Know kind of how many launches you would need. Because this is, again, like this system that we have right here, this is roughly the amount of thermal mass that I would kind of expect to put in the system. Although I would expect it to be... Right, like this regolith I would keep at like 300 degrees. But this is the system I would have for my steam rocket. And so when I converted into a petroleum rocket, this is the system I would keep, I think. Something along these lines. Maybe a little bit narrower, because you can get narrower than this. But with this amount of thermal mass in here, what sort of temperature increase do I see per launch of a petroleum rocket is the question. Okay, I'm going to cut things here, and I'll catch you guys next time.